Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Anthropology. Today we have a different video for you. Obviously, you can see a different setup. You can see all of my lovely one bed, one bath apartment. But today we're doing a pack with me. My husband and I are going on our honeymoon. So exciting. Honestly, how do I do this with one hand? My husband and I are going on our honeymoon, so we will be going to Fiji and Australia for a total of 2 weeks' time. So I am packing check-in luggage, which I haven't actually done in years, dare I say decades. So we will be doing a pack with me today. I'll show you what we're bringing when we go to Fiji, and maybe I'll bring you all along to a little bit of a travel vlog. Honestly, the world's become a crazy freaking place. My life has turned, it's become a little bit of a crazy time, but we'll see what I end up doing. But this will be a pack with me. If you're into these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my packing adventures. Okay, here is my must select luggage that I recently did a video for. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you'll definitely be able to see that. It is the large size. Since we're traveling for a long time, I wanted to have a lot of options for luggage. I'm gonna go through and pull all of my clothes that I want to bring. God, I haven't done one of these videos in forever, so bear with me. I'm gonna pack a lot of t-shirts. Maybe I'll do them on this side. Love me some pink. Also, this one. This is from Psycho Bunny. I really like this fabric. It's very, very like, sort of like a pick cotton. I have a Sandro polo that just says love on it. Although, this used to be pure white. Now it's sort of like velvety. Also want to bring my Coach shirt. Love this one. Also have a blue version. This is in Hawaii blue, so it's the same as that other Lululemon one. I want to look very colorful, very tropical on this trip. What are we at? We're at 4 t-shirts now. This is the same one as those other Lulu ones, but it's in like a periwinkle color. Very like powder cornflower blue. Just said like 3 different colors there, but whatever. Another Lululemon one. This one actually still has the tag on it. This is the heavyweight cotton fit jersey tee. It's very nice, very thick t-shirt. Always rip the tags off. Now I'm maybe a bit of an overpacker, but I want to have an outfit for at least every single day. So if we're there for a total of 12 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a Psycho Bunny shirt. I really like Psycho Bunny. It's a beautiful chocolate brown. They fit really, really nicely. Another brown piece. I mean, it's good to have a mix of long sleeve and short sleeves, even though we're going to like a tropical place. So this is just a long sleeve soft jersey shirt from Lululemon. Really nice. Never know if it'll be cool or cold. Now this is another Psycho Bunny. Same as the one before, but in a mint green. I wear a size 3, which is like their extra small. Put that right on top of the other one. And then I also have this shirt, which I got in Hawaii. It's got these cool fish on it. This is by a brand called Tori Richard, which are Hawaii specific. You can only really get them there. Okay, what are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is what I'll be wearing on the airplane. Another soft jersey, but it's in this like taupey color. And I have the matching pants too. I feel like I need more t-shirts. Here is one. It's a gray one from Maison Kitsune with like the little fox. I'm gonna bring this one. This is by Victor and Rolf, Mr. which I don't think they do anymore, but it has like the beautiful sort of ink thing there, and then it has a bootylicious man on the back. I'm also gonna bring this Prada shirt. This is old school Prada, well, 2017, which is almost 10 years ago now. Oh my god. Got the cool plaque. Bring this one. And then I'm obsessed with the soft jersey from Lulu, so I'll bring this long sleeve baby blue one as well. Okay, as for shorts, gonna have a lot of options. Okay, I have pants galore here. Okay, so let's start with swim shorts. I have these ones. These ones I got, I don't remember where, but they're by this brand, Hamabe. They have these like skull fish on them. One pair, and then I'm gonna bring these Prada ones too. I have like the Hawaiian lady on them. Little Prada patch there. These ones I also got in 2017. I'm gonna bring these ones. These are Lululemon. They're just like the pool short. They're in these really nice blue color. 3 pairs of shorts for swimming, and then I have these matching ones from Psycho Bunny. They actually, when you spray them with water, they get like a different like print on them, and they also come with like a little bag. How cute! What is that? I might actually save these for my carry-on, just because you never know if something happens. Okay, more shorts. These ones from Lululemon. These are quite a few years old. They're the bowline zip or something, bowline stretch. We have one. We have another pair in this sort of cream color. We have these ones in like a baby blue, which I love. We have 3 of these. And then I also have these ones in sort of like a turquoise 4. I'm gonna bring these ones too. These are fun. They're holographic purple green. These are Lululemon too. Bring those with me. I'm also gonna bring a comfy pair of shorts. These are the soft jersey shorts in this like sandy color. Just comfy cozy. Maybe I'll actually bring these on the airplane with me so that in case I do want to change. Now as for pants. I have these long ones from Lululemon. They're like a dressier pant just in case we're going to be going to some nicer restaurants, so I'm going to need nicer pants. They don't really have like shorts that I think are nice enough. Those are going to be my nice pants. As for shorts, I'm also going to bring these ones. They're like cargo, which are really fun. 2 pairs of these, one in cream and another one in yellow. Like these are bright yellow. Now I'm gonna bring some longer ones too. Some ABC joggers in this like nice gray color from Lululemon in a gray. I'm also gonna bring them in a chocolate color brown. Good to have a mixture of things. You never know what you're gonna come across, and we are gonna be in Fiji, so there's not really much there in terms of like shopping. Also gonna bring these jeans. These are just classic Levi's 501s. I've had these for quite a while. I have to start going over to this side now. Now, just to have another nice pair of pants, I have these sort of like jogger chinos from Lulu in this taupey beige color. Bring those two because why now? Move there, put that there. I think that's like everything that I want to bring pant-wise. Now for totes and bags. Now I want to have a nice tote to wear to the beaches and stuff, so I'm going to bring this one, a Lululemon. Just fold it down. And then I also want to bring this little belt bag. It's in like this baby yellow color for when we're out and about. I'm also going to include these on this side. So we're bringing 2 sets of goggles. And then we also have this snorkel set that we got in Hawaii. Comes with 2 sets of masks and a snorkel. Definitely gonna bring that. As for sandals, I'm gonna bring my Sui Coke. I guess that's how you say it. They are really torn up. But I'm gonna put them in one of these must little bags for shoes. Not bringing that many shoes, just a pair of runners, pair of sandals, nothing crazy. All right, so now I want to talk a little bit about what we actually did on this honeymoon. This honeymoon was almost over a month ago at the time that I'm filming this, so very sorry for the delay, but we've been moving, hence the crazy background. So I just wanted to get into it, talk a little bit about what we did, where we went, what I would recommend from each place, some of the things that I loved, some of the things that I maybe would have changed, and just generally like how our trip was. I moved away from doing like vlogs of trips, especially ones as significant as our honeymoon, because I really wanted to be present. I wanted to spend all the time connecting with Robin. And as much as I love you all and want to bring you all in with me, I figured I could bring you on afterwards and just talk about it. So I did film some things, which I'll include throughout as I talk, as well as some pictures that I've taken of the trip. But yeah, essentially, we started our trip in Fiji. We flew to Fiji. We were there from, technically, we left on April 4th in the evening, and we arrived on April 6th in the morning to Nandi International Airport from Vancouver. We ended up flying Fiji Airways. It was actually a pretty good deal. Really good flight. Would recommend Fiji Airways if you're traveling to Fiji or to the South Pacific in general. They have fairly good routes from the West Coast. So we flew into Nandi. We arrived at 5 in the morning, Fiji time, which was crazy, but going through like customs security, that was totally chill. I had pre-booked our car in advance to pick us up. I have done this now for the past few trips, especially if we're on like a more remote island. It saves the whole like taxi situation, trying to figure out, do they have Uber, do they not have Uber? Just by booking it in advance, the car is ready. The car is like there, it's waiting, it's taking us directly where we need to go. We don't even really have to say anything. We just like get in the car and go. But it was actually kind of iconic because I didn't realize this when I booked, but I actually booked us a whole van, like a literal van that could fit up to like 10 people, but it was just Robin and I. And there was Wi-Fi, which was crazy. So love that for us. We ended up staying at the Outrigger Fiji Resort, which is on the main island of Vitulevu, an hour and a half south of Nandi and sort of 2 hours from Suva, which is their capital. So it's sort of along the Coral Coast in an area outside of Sigatoka, which is one of like their more large towns there, in an area called Korotogo. And it was beautiful. The resort was stunning. Outrigger is an American chain. They have resorts in Hawaii, they have some in Thailand, Maldives, etc. We picked them for two reasons. One, we wanted beachfront and we didn't want to spend like crazy. Like we wanted very nice, but we didn't want to spend like a bungalow over the water crazy. So they had a fairly good deal and we were right, literally beachfront. We had an ocean view. The sunsets were crazy. And the other thing was we wanted like full resort. And this one, it had 5 restaurants. It was really nice. And given that like LGBT in Fiji is still, it can be hit or miss, we wanted to stay primarily in a more like friendly, family friendly area, just given that they're fairly more tolerant. Ideally, and upon retrospect, we would have done adults only because towards the end, the kids were getting crazy. But the adults only ones were really like literally double, triple the price of what we were looking to spend. So the Outrigger was still 5-star resort. It was still beautiful. It was still stunning. But when I tell you we literally did zero things there, we were there from the 6th to the 13th, so a full week end to end. And we got to check in right away, which was great. The beach was stunning. It was set on its own private beach and it had a lagoon coral reef, which it was sort of set upon, which meant the snorkeling was insane. The snorkeling was next level. It was I want to say it was like a nursery for the coral reef fish because all of the fish there were itty bitty, tiny, tiny versions of the bigger ones that we saw in like Hawaii, for example. So the snorkeling was like next level and the water was so shallow. It was literally like maybe 2-3 feet and that was maybe at like high tide. And we would go snorkeling in the morning. It was absolutely stunning. And given that we had gone and it was sort of off season a little bit, it was like a shoulder season just before the South Pacific school holidays, there weren't that many people there, which was great. So it would be just Robin and I for like the first 3 hours just sitting on the beach reading our books. I was reading Fourth Wing for anyone that's a part of the Emprian series. Like, let me know what you think down below. I really liked it. Was reading that. We just read on the beach for like 3.5 hours every morning. Would go swimming. The one thing, it was very hot. It was around 30 degrees, 95% humidity. I was sweating. It was crazy. The humidity I felt humidity before. Like I've been in humid environments before, never like that. That was wild. And in terms of the UV was oscillating between 10 and 12. It was high. It was very high. SPF 30, not cutting it. You have to get SPF 50 at least because the sun there acts completely different. It was so nice. There was an adults only pool, which is really good. We didn't drink too much, and it was not an all-inclusive resort, so we had to pay for all of our meals. However, given there was like the Canadian dollar was significantly stronger than the Fijian dollar, once we did the conversion, it actually didn't work out to be too bad. But we did have to pay for every single meal. Basically, every single thing we ate, we paid for. And what I really enjoyed is that I didn't realize how much New Zealand influence there was in terms of like snacking. And my family's from New Zealand. I freaking love all the Kiwi snacks. So I was very excited to see that all the Kiwi snacks, like the chicken chips, like Hokey Pokey ice cream, like jelly tips, were at the resort, which I loved. And Robin got to try all of them, which I'm very excited about. When I tell you we did nothing except for read, swim, snorkel, eat, sleep, repeat, I literally mean that. We didn't do anything. We didn't do one excursion, which in retrospect we probably could have. However, once we left Fiji, we took a very short flight. It was supposed to be 5 hours. It was done in three, to Sydney, Australia. And we were in Sydney from the 14th evening to the 18th in the morning. So we were there for a shorter amount of time. Ultimately, we wish we left Fiji one day early and arrived in Sydney a day, or sort of had more time in Sydney and a little bit less time in Fiji, because towards the end of Fiji, all of the kids came, all the families came, and it really made us feel like, whoa, this is like way too many families. And the resort was clearly oriented more towards families than it was towards couples or even singles. So if you are looking for more of like a romantic couples only resort, I would not recommend the Outrigger in Fiji. It was beautiful. It was stunning. The food was really good. Like everything about it was great, except for the fact that it was clearly geared primarily towards families with young children, which is not Robin and I, obviously, but we still had an amazing time and it was great. But Sydney was probably the kicker. We stayed at the Shangri-La right at the Rocks, which was beautiful. We had a opera house view, which was amazing. The resort was really nicely centrally located, and we got to walk around the rocks a little bit, which was nice. They have a really nice bar. It's called Bar 36 or Level 36 or something, and it has views of the Harbour Bridge, which is beautiful. My mom was actually working in Sydney when we were there, so we got to see her, which was nice. When we were there, on our first day, we went to the Royal Botanical Garden, which is beautiful. We walked all around the rocks, all Opera House, Royal Botanical Garden, saw all some crazy birds, and went to the Art Gallery of New South Wales, which was probably one of the better art galleries, or like one of the best art galleries I've ever been to. The only one that I enjoyed equally as much or more was maybe the Kunsthistorisches Museum. I don't know if that's how you say it, but the one in Vienna, I really liked that one. More so than like the Louvre or like really big ones like that, or even like the British Museum. I feel like the smaller ones are a lot better. They're more like curated. But I really enjoyed that museum. If you have a chance, go. A lot of the museums and art galleries in Sydney are free, which is great. So you can just go pop in. It had a really good assortment of art from like Europe, from Polynesia, from Australia, from North America, even sort of spanning a variety of different time periods up to modern day stuff. So really recommend that. And then for dinner, we ended up at Cafe Sydney, which is in the rocks overlooking the harbor. It was beautiful. It was good. You know, nothing really to write home about. I had a really good lamington there, though, we'll say. So that was day one. Day two, we decided to go to the Australian Museum, which is more of like a socio-cultural, sort of anthropological museum, more natural history. That one was good. Didn't like it as much as the Art Gallery of New South Wales. One reason, because every single child's day camp was there. Literally every single child's day camp was there. And they were screaming. And I wanted to get out of there so fast. But the museum had a really good assortment of Polynesian art, especially Polynesian history, colonial history, really understanding the impacts on the region, which I thought was great to learn about and understand sort of how Australia got to be where it is today. We also went to Westfield Mall that day. Now, for those that are my Australian followers, how do you navigate that mall? I was getting so confused. It was like there were so many different openings, and it was like it spanned multiple blocks. And normally I have a very good central map, but when I was there, I literally could not geolocate myself, which I found very difficult. I was like, why is this so hard for me to like find out where I am? But we didn't really end up doing significant amount of shopping there. Went to this one store, I think it's called like General Pants Co. or something, and I got this shirt, which is cute enough, you know, nice, sort of like a chiffon almost. So that was really nice. In terms of, oh, at the Shangri-La, we ended up doing the breakfast buffet every single day, which was stunning. It was stellar. I would stay there again just for the breakfast buffet. It was so good. It does cost around, if you book it in advance, around 40 Australian AUD per person per day, and it was honestly it was worth it. You can get fresh flat whites and everything, fresh coffee to go. The coffee in Australia was next level. It was top tier. Some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life. Also, the sandwiches, the sandwich culture, the coffee culture, the cafe culture in Australia is just, well, Sydney specifically is amazing. I was so blown away by everything. It was just the ease in which you can get really high quality stuff, really good food is crazy. So that was day 2. We ended up going to this restaurant, which ended up being our favorite. It's called Pellegrino 2000. It's a Italian restaurant, a little bit further away, sort of like 30-ish minutes away from our resort or from the hotel, quite a bit down in, I think it's called the Surrey area. And we ended up getting their chef's menu, which was a 5 to 6 course Italian menu. They had literally some of the best Italian food I've ever had in my life. Some rigatoni carbonara, lamb scallopini, some banana whipped cream dessert, some anchovies on red pepper. It was wild. It was so freaking good. I literally can't stop talking about that restaurant. I loved it so much. And then on the 3rd day, we were going to go to the Taronga Zoo. However, for whatever reason, we decided that we wanted to go to the aquarium instead. And next to the aquarium, there's another sort of Australian animal only museum that you can go to. There's sort of 4 exhibits. There's a wax museum and there's something else, and like you can get bypassed all of them. They're all in this like one corner. So we ended up going to the aquarium. It was really cool. Got to see a dugong, which I'd never seen before. They're like manatees with whale tails. But again, same critique as the Australian Museum, which is not their fault. However, it was overly abundant of children's day camps. They were screaming. They were obnoxious. They were literally like the worst children I've ever experienced in my life altogether, seeing little animals, which I was like so over. But then once we exited that, we went to the Australian Animal Museum zoo thing and got to see all the different little Australian specific animals like Tasmanian devils. And that one was significantly more empty. So if you're looking to just see Australian specific animals, it's really not that expensive. It's much closer than Taronga Zoo. So I would recommend going to that one. And when we were there, it was pretty much empty. Like we were like some of the only people there, which was crazy. They have all the snakes, all the spiders. They have 2 types of kangaroos, a tree kangaroo, Kofi, which we fell in love with, and a bunch of brown kangaroos, no red kangaroos. Not really a lot of birds. You know, Australia is known for their birds, their cockatiels, etc. But you can see those just out and about in the Royal Botanical Garden. They make the craziest noises. But they also have koalas, which you can see, a bunch of alligators, you know, just like the classic Australian thing. So would recommend that as well. And then we just chilled, walked around a little bit more. For dinner, we ended up going to, well, I booked us this place called Ripple's Chowder Bay, which is in Mosman, I think, which is over the bridge. However, we were their only reservation. They closed. My data was off. They couldn't reach me, so I couldn't know. We get all the way there. It's dark. There's no restaurant. So we ended up walking around the back, knocking on the kitchen door, being like, hello, we have a reservation. What do you mean you're closed? And then they were like, oh, sorry, we tried to get in touch with you. I was like, oh my God, I'm Canadian. Like, that's why you couldn't reach me. But then they walked us, and there was luckily a restaurant open above, which was a French restaurant. So we ended up going there. Very good French food. I think it's called L'Héritage. So would recommend, a little bit on the pricier side, but very delicious nonetheless. And then after that, our last day, it was rainy, unfortunately, a bit overcast, but we ended up going to Bondi. How are you going to go to Sydney, Australia, and not go to Bondi Beach? It was a lot bigger than I expected. It was grandiose. It was massive, and it was very windy, but it was beautiful to see sort of like the power of the ocean, especially with like a big storm coming in. And then really good shopping around Bondi. We ate at the Bondi sort of like promenade area, which was good. It was a bit like touristy, but it was good. And then we just shopped around, went back to the hotel, chilled, checked in for our flight, which was so sad. And then we ended up going for dinner at this place called Alia, which is where like literally where all like the luxury shops are. Beautiful restaurant, sort of modern Middle Eastern food, which I really liked. I got the lamb neck shawarma. We sort of ordered the chef's menu again to share. And it was really, really good. Like, would highly recommend. The food scene in Sydney was up tier. We picked nice restaurants. Like, we picked 5-star restaurants that were more expensive. So obviously we wanted to eat well, because that's like something about us. Like when we travel, I don't want to go somewhere and then eat poorly. Like I'd rather just be at home and cook for myself. So if I'm going somewhere, I want to have like an experience. If I'm paying for it on a vacation, I want to have an experience. And we got that. It was very, very good. So would highly recommend that as well. I did pre-book everything in advance, like dinner wise, obviously besides the French restaurant, and I had to leave credit cards. So if you're uncomfortable with that, just keep that in mind. A lot of these places were very full, so I'm glad I made reservations, and then obviously we knew what we were doing. And then on our way out, we flew out at 8 in the morning with Air Canada. It was a 14 and a half hour flight back to Vancouver. And let me just say, the duty free at the Sydney airport, top tier, top tier. I was having a bit of a travel morning, gotta say. So I was not mentally in the mood to shop. However, I wish I was because it was such a good duty-free experience. The flight was great, watched 5 horror movies. However, would not recommend a day flight because we left at 9 in the morning and then we arrived at 6 in the morning on the same day in Vancouver. And I was like, oh my God, now we have to relive this whole day. And I didn't sleep at all because we had a demon baby right behind us, just awake for the whole flight. Literally scream crying for 10 out of 14 hours. And I was like, when is this going to stop? Literally, when is it going to stop? And it never stopped. So that was our trip. Overall, it was amazing, incredible. I loved Sydney so much. We both loved both locations. And it was one of the only times where both of us were like, we need to go back. We need to like redo this and do it again or do it longer. We were gone for 12 days, technically calendar 2 weeks, but once we were there, time zones and whatever. So we were gone on the ground for 12 full days, and it was honestly, we needed more, but we traveled very expensively. So it was getting up there, but it was such an amazing trip. Would highly recommend. I feel like Australia and like the South Pacific, but Australia specifically, I feel like they are really gonna like benefit from the tourism boom. Like I feel like I'm seeing a lot of people go there now. That was our trip. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you went on your honeymoon down below. Let me know if you have any other recommendations for Fiji or Australia, because we're definitely going to be going back. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.